Okay, people, what you are about to see, by all means, is really shocking and fucked up. Alright? But, let's go on with it.
Cops are still trying to identify the man dragged to his death for 17 miles under the body of a van. An autopsy is scheduled for later today.
Yeah, sources tell Pix News the victim...
He was dragged under a car for 17 miles to his goddamn death, and they're trying to identify him? There must be fragments of that motherfucker all 17 miles.
May have been a day laborer. He was struck by two vehicles in Queens yesterday. He was then dragged for 17 miles all the way to Coney Island.
Yeah, Pix has a...
Jesus! From Queens all the way to Coney Island. For anyone that don't live in Brooklyn, that is a far-ass distance.
Exclusive surveillance video, but we want to warn you this morning that some of these images are really difficult to watch. Mary Murphy has more. The time was 6:09 a.m. when this man heading to his car on 108th Street in Corona, Queens, witnessed a horrific scene. Another man crossing 50th Avenue, hit by a black SUV, pushed up the street by the vehicle, with a white car then slowly swerving to avoid the scene and passing by. And it's at that point that a red van comes, passing over the victim, a suspension bar underneath the van, catching the man. The victim, lodged by his rib cage, simply swept away.
Jesus, you saw that? Shush! Just like if a sweeper picked his ass up. You know that? God damn. You know what that is? Got people that drive and just don't pay attention. You're gonna tell me this guy in that van dragged this motherfucker for 17 miles. 17 fucking miles. Didn't feel that motherfucker under him?
Away from the scene, the beginning of a 17-mile ride through Queens and Brooklyn. You can see the original witness grabbing his head in disbelief as a driver from across the street gets out of his car, and another driver as well. Another angle of the surveillance tape shows a man getting out of a vehicle.
Okay, watch this. Watch this.
That dropped him off on 108th Street just before 6:09 a.m., walking to the corner and practicing good pedestrian safety and getting across 50th Avenue. And it's just at that time that another man appears, and he is the one who is hit. It is...
Okay, you saw that? You know what happened? That man ran out into traffic. Okay? That's what happened. That's why his ass got hit. Because it's either someone on a cell phone or the motherfucker just can't wait. He's got to take a shit or something. So he ran out into traffic. Now, a lot of you know what I'm talking about. People that drive. You see this all the goddamn time. I drive slow. My friend says, you drive awful slow. I drive slow because of reasons like that. I don't know how many times I had to hit the brakes because people aren't paying attention. They're stepping out into the street and they're not looking in the direction where the cars are coming from and everything else, you know, or they're on the cell phone. Fucking use some brain. You know, when I hit that brake, if I'm moving at a certain speed, that car ain't going to stop on a dime.
Still dark at the time, and vehicles are using their headlights. The driver of the black SUV that originally...
Now, there goes the guy's body. See it right there? He's just ahead. Here, that van is just about to go over him. Now, the guy's most likely dead. Then again, you never know. But most likely dead because I noticed in the first one, the wheels went over him. So he might not, you know, that guy stopped. The guy who hit him stopped and called the police. He probably had no choice. That guy darted out. Hell.
Hit the man, immediately called 911 and stayed at the scene. But when police arrived, the victim was gone, no one realizing yet that the red cargo van had carried him away. The red van's driver later told police he never saw the man being hit, and he assumed drivers were swerving to avoid a pothole.
You know what? That sounds like the biggest bullshit story I've ever heard in my life. How the fuck you don't feel something? I get a piece of cardboard or a bag underneath that motherfucker, my car. I hear that shit all the way down there. He didn't hear that shit? I mean, how fucking noisy is this car? He's probably banging away with a ton of music. Oh, I'm cool. Listen to that music. I mean, I can't think of how you don't hear or feel something under your car being dragged. For 17 miles. 17 miles.
In New York, Mary Murphy, Pix Morning News. Well, the gruesome accident left a bloody trail spanning 2 boroughs.
Yeah, I can imagine. A blood shit. You probably just follow this blood. They just probably follow followed that trail of blood right to his van.
Police say the van rode 3 different expressways before stopping in Brighton Beach, where the driver finally realized what had happened.
You know what? That driver should have his license taken away. Even though it's not his fault, it really isn't, you know? But he obviously should not be operating a vehicle, okay? That could have been a kid he hit and took him with him. Didn't even notice it. At least the guy in the SUV who hit him at first pulled over, followed the law, made a phone call and tried to get some help. That guy was dragged 17 miles. Guess what? He was dead. Okay? An autopsy. I don't know what the fuck they're going to look at. There must be parts of that motherfucker scattered all over the place. If he has any ID in his pocket, it's scattered all over the fucking, all 17 miles. You know? Jesus Christ, man. The guy in the red van, they should take away his license. And for you people and kids, and a lot of teenagers and high school kids that just dart out into the street, it's a big joke. Oh, you're not going to hit me and stand there while you're trying to pass with your car? Look what happened. Flavio 13 out.